Evo, meni je zadovoljstvo biti ovdje ovo jutro.
It is pleasure to be here this morning,
Zajedno u crkvi s vama.
together in this church with you,
Slaviti Krista i,
to praise Christ
i silu njegovog uskrsnuća.
and the might of his resurrection.
Da. I evo, prije svega želio bih da se predstavim.
I would like to introduce myself first of all.
Moje ime je Haris.
My name is Haris.
Dolazim iz Sarajeva.
I come from Sarajevo.
Član sam Baptističke crkve iz Sarajevo,
I am the member of Baptist Church Sarajevo,
u kojoj služim kao propovjednik.
and I serve there as a preacher.
U vaš lijepi Split sam došao
In your beautiful Split I came
sa našim bratom Branislavom
with our brother Branislav
i sa svojim sinom Mateom.
and with my son Matthew.
Kako je rekao pastor vaš,
As your pastor told us,
on je zaista moj dar od Boga.
he is indeed my gift from God.
Ja. Došli smo u stvari iz par razloga.
We've come here for a few reasons.
Kao želim vas obavijestiti o tome i informisati da smo došli u stvari da podijelimo svim bibliotekama u Dalmaciji.
We've come to inform you that it is our wish to share with all the libraries in Dalmatia
Knjigu Srcem do beskraja koju je brat Branislav napisao.
the book With Heart from Infinity that our brother Branislav has written,
Jer vjerujemo da će to biti dobar put.
because we believe it will be a good way
Da poruka koju knjiga nosi
for the message of this book
dođe do čitalaca.
to come to those who read it,
Naročito oni koji ne poznaju Boga.
especially those who do not know God yet.
I drugi razlog je bio da dođemo,
The other reason to come here was
da budemo s crkvom ovdje
to be with you, with this church,
i da izgradimo veće prijateljstvo
and to build a greater friendship between
vama.
the churches,
s vama i
with
vodstvom
you
crkve,
and your church leadership,
da bi mogli za budućnost
so that in the future we may
bolje služiti
better serve
njemu koji je jedini dostojan.
him who is the only worthy one.
Oprostite, malo dužijem uvodu, ali
I'm
bilo mi je
sorry for
važno
this
da
lengthy introduction, but it was important to me
vam to objasnim.
to explain to you,
Zato da vas zamolim da se molite za to.
so that I can ask you to pray for these
Da ono
things,
sjeme koje smo posijali kroz knjige
that the seed that we have planted through the books
dođe do srca onih
come to the heart of those
koji će primiti i razumjeti
who will receive it and understand it,
ono što smo mi primili i razumjeli.
the things that we have received and understood,
Poruku evanđelja.
the message of the
Tu
Gospels.
radosnu vijest koju sam ja primio prije 14 godina.
This joyful word that I have received 14 years ago,
23. marta 2002. godine.
the 23rd of March, koje godine?
2002.
Aha, 2002.
Pardon.
No, it's microphone.
Okay. Pamtim taj datum.
I remember that date
Tada sam na novo rođen.
because I was born again.
Postao novi čovjek.
I became a new person.
I sve ono staro mi je zaboravljeno i oprošteno.
And all that was old is forgotten and forgiven.
Prije nego što sam upoznao Krista,
Before I knew Christ,
ili bolje rečeno prije nego što je Bog došao po mene,
or better said, before God came for me,
živio sam život, klasični život gradskog momka.
I lived a usual life of a city fellow.
Tada je bilo popularno živjeti seks, drugs i rock and roll.
So it was popular back then to live by the principles of sex, drugs and rock and roll.
Ja. Ja sam inače bio ovisnik o heroinu 20 godina.
I was a heroin addict for 20 years.
Također sam bio i diler heroina
I was a dealer of heroin as well,
za visoku klasu.
for high society.
Jer znate, u tom poslu
Because, you know, at that line of work,
postoje dvije različite vrste.
there are two different kinds
Ulični
of
dileri
people. Those who deal in the streets
i oni koji rade za visoku klasu.
and those who work for high class of society.
Da. Nažalost,
Unfortunately,
ta pošast, taj otrov je raširen u svim slojevima društva.
That poison is spread along all the classes of society.
I znate, taj život kada živite,
And you know, when you live that kind of life,
ne interesuje vas niko.
You are not interested in anyone.
Ni ljudi,
Not the people,
ni porodica,
not the family,
ni prijatelji,
not the friends,
a kamoli Bog.
and let alone God.
Ja inače dolazim iz my background,
My
kako bi
background,
rekao,
I
moja
come
pozadina.
from,
U stvari dolazim iz ateističke porodice.
I come from atheist family.
Moja porodica je u stvari komunistička porodica.
My family is a communist family.
Bili su ateisti i ja nikada nisam
They were atheists and I've never
poznavao Boga, jer nije neko
God.
govorio o Bogu.
I've never known God because no one ever told me about him,
Kamoli prakticirao neku religiju.
let alone practiced a religion of a sort.
Po mom mišljenju u to vrijeme to je bilo za one
In my opinion, back then, it was for those people
koji su stari,
who are old,
bolesni
sick,
i koji nemaju druga posla.
and who have nothing else to do.
Kako isprazno razmišljanje
Such an empty thinking
jednog čovjeka koji nije poznavao Boga.
of a person who did not know God.
U stvari ja sam bio prazan
Actually, I was the empty one,
i tražio da ispunim tu prazninu
and I was looking for ways to fill in the gaps, the emptiness
koju samo Bog može ispuniti.
that only God can fulfill.
I tako nakon 20 godina
So after
takvog
20
stila
years
života,
of that lifestyle,
naravno taj život prati puno novca.
of course, that kind of lifestyle is followed with loads of money.
I nakon 20 godina izgubio sam sav novac.
And after 20 years, I lost all of it.
U džepu nisam imao ništa.
I was skint. I didn't have anything in my pockets.
I bio sam u heroinskoj krizi.
And of course, I was in crisis.
Ostavljen od svih, nazovi prijatelja.
Left alone by all of my friends.
I znam da je to vrijeme đavo došao da naplati svoje.
And I know that at that time, the devil has come to claim his own.
Čak i da uzme moj život.
And even to take my life.
Ali hvala Kristu koji mu to nije dao.
But thanks Christ, for he has not allowed him to do that.
I ležeći tako u krizi,
So while I was lying down in crisis,
u moje misli je došao jedan čovjek
a man came into my thoughts
koji je također živio život kakav sam ja živio.
who led the same life as I did.
Ali sam čuo da je postao kršćanin.
But then I heard that he became Christian.
I nazvao sam ga i rekao sam mu, dođi čovječe, treba mi pomoć.
I called him and I said, man, come here, I need help.
I drago mi je da u tom trenutku
And I'm so glad that at that moment,
moj ponos
my pride
je bio slomljen.
was broken.
I da sam imao snage nazvati
And
njega.
I had the strength to call him.
Da.
Yes.
I došao je
So he came
sa drugim bratom
with another brother
koji je također imao isti problem kao ja.
who had the same kind of problem I had.
Donijeli su mi kutiju cigara.
So they brought me a packet of cigarettes
Ćevape.
and kebabs.
To je za nas brza hrana.
And that's fast food in my country.
Da. I donijeli su mi knjigu Mir sa Bogom.
And they brought me the book Peace with God, Billy Graham.
Da. I rekli su mi, evo, kad budeš mogao, pročitaj knjigu.
And they told me, when you are able, read this book.
Ja sam rekao, ok.
And I said, okay.
I bacio sam knjigu pod krevet.
And I threw that book under my bed.
I sve bi sam mislio, ma
And
zaboravim
I
to.
thought, forget about it.
I nakon 15 dana kada je fizička kriza prošla,
And after 15 days with this physical pain and crisis has passed away,
Duh Sveti mi nije dao mira.
Holy Spirit would not let me rest.
Donosio mi je tu knjigu misli.
He brought up that book over and over again in my thoughts.
I ja znam da su tada njih dvojica molili za mene.
And I know that at those times the two of them prayed for me.
Da ja uzmem tu knjigu i
So that
pročitam.
I may pick up the book and read it.
I nakon 20 dana ja sam je uzeo.
And after 20 days I picked up the book.
I počeo čitati.
I started reading.
Ja sam inače bio educiran Poznavao sam kršćanstvo, poznavao sam poruku evanđelja.
I was an educated man. I knew the Christianity and I knew the message of the Gospels.
Znao sam ko je Krist.
I knew who Christ was.
U naučnom kontekstu da je bio vođa jedne religije.
Speaking historically that he was a leader of a religion.
Naravno nisam znao da je Bog.
I didn't know at that time that he was God.
Jer Boga nisam priznavao ni na koji način.
Because I didn't recognize God in any way.
I uzeo sam čitati tu knjigu.
So I started reading the book.
I nakon 3 dana čitanja.
And after 3 days reading,
imao sam san.
I had a dream.
Vidio sam anđele kako silaze s neba.
I saw angels coming down from heaven.
Vidio sam u stvari, kasnije naravno to sam saznao, vidio sam taj Jakovljev san, kako ja zovem.
I saw something that I call Jacob's dream.
Ako se sjećate iz Starog Zavjeta.
From the Old Testament.
Kada Jakov sanja da anđeli silaze i penju se
na nebo. When Jacob dreams of angels coming down and going up into the heaven.
Ti anđeli koje sam ja vidio silazili su.
And those angels that I saw in my dream were coming down from heaven.
I dolazili u moju sobu.
And they came into my room.
Probudio sam se iz tog sna i
so I woke up from that dream.
Znao sam da to nije nešto, da nije obična stvar.
And I knew that this was no ordinary thing.
Znate kad osjetite unutra da je to nešto,
you feel that this is something else.
Nešto neobično, nešto vrijedno.
Something strange and very valuable.
Ustao sam ujutro, obukao se.
So I got up in the morning, I got dressed.
I otišao sam kod jednog drugog čovjeka.
So I went to another man.
Za kojeg sam također znao da je kršćanin.
That I knew he was a Christian.
I otišao sam kod njega.
So I came to him.
I rekao sam, znaš šta čovječe, sanjao sam to i to.
And I told him, you know, I dreamt.
Sanjao sam anđele kako silaze sa neba.
I've dreamt these angels coming down from heaven.
Molim te, možeš li mi objasniti?
Could you explain this to me, please?
I on je rekao, sjedi, pokušat ću.
So he said, sit down, I'll try.
Otvorio je Bibliju i počeo je da mi čita.
He opened the Bible and started reading.
Taj Jakobjev san.
This dream of Jacob from the Old Testament.
I nakon toga je prešao na stihove iz Novog Zavjeta.
And then he turned to a New Testament and started reading verses.
I počeo mi objašnjavati poruku evanđelja.
And then he started to explain to me the message of the Gospels.
Iskreno rečeno, vrlo slabo sam razumio.
To say the truth, I could barely understand what he was talking about.
U jednom trenutku čovjek je samo ustao od stola.
And at a certain moment, this man got up from the table.
Došao iza mojih leđa.
Came behind me.
Stavio je ruke na mene.
Put his hands on me.
I počeo da se moli za mene.
And started praying for me.
Ja sam se pitao što ovaj radi.
I was in wonder, what's he doing?
Je li normalan? No.
I was wondering if he was sane and normal.
Ali čovjek je, hvala Bogu, nastavio moliti za mene.
But thanks, praised be the Lord, the man kept praying for me.
I u jednom trenutku,
and at a certain point,
ja sam primio Duha Svetoga.
I received Holy Spirit.
I u to vrijeme počeo sam da plačim i da se smijem.
And at the same time I started crying and laughing.
Radost me obuzela.
And joy took over.
I niko više nije morao da mi kaže ko je Bog.
And no one else had to tell me who God was.
Ja sam znao svim svojim bićem.
For the whole being of mine, I knew.
To je Bog.
This is God.
To je ono što mi treba.
This is what I need.
To je mjesto gdje ja trebam biti.
And this is the place where I have to be.
To je ono što ispunjava moje biće.
And this is the thing that fulfills my soul.
I od toga dana.
And from that day on.
Evo živim tu radost Krista.
I live this joy of Christ.
I stojim na njegovoj riječi.
And I stand upon his word.
I svaki dan sebi ponavljam.
And every day I keep reminding myself.
Evo ne živim više ja.
It is not I that live anymore.
Nego živi Krist u meni.
But Christ in me.
Amen.
Amen.